My name's Fiona. I'm an aged care chaplain in Maitland. I have a very rewarding job. We have 200 residents here on site, and I find myself going amongst all the different residents and meeting the spiritual and emotional needs, and that can be quite various. It can be running a church service through to sitting one-on-one with a resident, talking through grief and loss, and even extend into end of life and palliative care. I found myself one day at Maitland Hospital. I was visiting one of our home care clients, and I walked into the room and I saw him, and he was at the end of his life, and so I prayed with him and I exited the room. And a nurse saw me. She came up to me, she'd seen my name badge and seen the cross on it and seen the word chaplain. And she said to me, "You're a chaplain?" I said, "Yes, I am. How can I help?" And she's like, I have a patient who's not too well. He's in the last hours of his life. His family are by his bedside. Can you come and help? And I said yes. I'd never been in that situation before, but I said yes. And that 30-second walk between the hospital rooms was the longest walk of my life. I'd never prayed so much in a 30-second period. God, please help me. It's become one of my go-to prayers during this job. God, please help. What do I do? And as I walked into this room, that nurse had led me into the room and said, "This is Fiona, she's a chaplain," and that was it. And by this man's bedside, we had about 4 generations of this gentleman's family. I didn't even know this gentleman's name. I walked into the room and I said, "I'm a Christian chaplain. I've been invited in here to do some end-of-life prayers. Would that be okay with everyone?" Everyone looked quite nervous and said, "Yes, of course that's okay." I found out a bit later on that no one in the room was a believer except the man in the bed and his wife. And he had been in a local church for about 40 years, so he was a man of faith. I didn't know what I was doing, so I knelt beside the bed. I grabbed his hand and I said to the people around the bed, "Please join with me in prayer." And I prayed for about 5 minutes, I think, just mentioning that it was okay for him to enter into eternal life, giving him permission, and saying, "Lord, please help this man run into your arms." And just as I was praying, I felt something change in the room. And after I'd left the room, the nurse had told me that man had passed away as I was praying. And I had a funny reaction to that. I wasn't sad. My heart leapt for joy. My spirit was rejoicing. The tears came later because I am a human and that happens as part of this job. But in that moment, my heart was rejoicing. And I was very aware that during that last 5 minutes of that man's life, his wife, his children, grandchildren, and even great-grandchildren were in the room. And it was an opportunity to witness. And it all came back to the fact that I had said yes to that nurse. When she'd seen that I was a chaplain, she had said, "Please come," and I said yes. I didn't know what I was walking into, but I just went. And I feel that that's a big part of what we need to do in ministry, regardless of in the church or outside the church. We need to have an openness and an awareness to the leading of the Spirit. I obviously had no idea what was going to happen that day, but as I left that hospital, I felt purposeful, I felt intentional, and I just felt an overwhelming love of the Lord in my heart. Ah.